not gonna lie, I kind of forget how to do this. So I've been completely out of touch, which is not surprising given the way that this year's been going. I do intend to get back to regular vlogging with B-roll and all that exciting stuff right after the new year. The reason I'm not using the old GoPro dashboard windshield mount setup that I used for ages is because I lost the GoPro mount, or I left it in a rental car somewhere in the middle of the country. A week ago I got back from Vancouver. I nailed the keynote out there. It was like hugely successful. I was thrilled. But hours after I finished speaking on stage, I ended up starting to feel sick, and then I came down with a cold on the way home, and then I got home and realized that my wife developed her own cold while I had been gone, and then I picked up her cold on top of my cold, so I got kind of doubly sick and lost my voice. So as I've been kind of sick for the last week and out of the game and really haven't been able to focus on work or do anything, I've just been, you know, sitting around in pajamas, I don't know which version, pajamas? How do I say that word? I actually don't know how I normally say it now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, I was sitting around all week, mostly in pajamas, and drinking tea and just kind of being useless to the world because I had way too much time to just like sit on my computer and look at my analytics for my various websites, my blog and stuff. And I realized that the blog, oh, and by the way, I don't know if you guys actually know that, I do a weekly blog if you're on my email list. So it's at brianmillerspeaks.com/blog. And then I got the highest amount of unsubscribers from a single email than I've had since I started this version of the blog. And I was staring at it, trying to figure out what it was about this particular post that made people unsubscribe. I didn't think what I was talking about was terribly controversial. I thought it was kind of interesting. I thought it was a cute story. I thought it had a good point. I thought it was well written. And that got me thinking a lot about how we receive feedback and what we do when we're given feedback. Quick stop to send out a few more books. So this is the Little Free Library. They have these all over the country in lots of different cool places. And I am going to be leaving a copy of my book. My good buddy Hal Myers, who's an amazing magician, professionally stage named Damien, he bought a copy of the book, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago during the pre-launch process. He only wanted the digital copy because he's been moving around a lot, he's trying to get rid of physical stuff. He bought the full book at full price, but he said, don't send it to me, just give me the digital copy. And I said, listen, I really appreciate that, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take your copy and I'm gonna donate it somewhere at some point. And he thought that was great. So what I'm doing is taking a copy that I have made an inscription to whoever finds this, and I'm gonna leave it in the Little Free Library. So anybody, it's windy and it's cold, this was a terrible day to do this. Anybody who finds this, please enjoy it and then share it. Either put it back in here, give it to a friend, tell them to read it and enjoy it and share it with somebody else. By the way, if you live in Connecticut, I am in Canton, Connecticut right now. I'm at the Canton Shops, so that's where it is, in case you want to pick it up. Holy sun. Wow, it's sunny out today. I'm gonna run into a store real quick that's in the same parking lot. Normally I would just walk over there, but it's so cold, I think I'm gonna drive. I went crazy at Kohl's. I am waiting for a call, so I need to leave this out just in case that happens. But I want to talk about this idea, the idea of feedback and how we take it and what we do with it. But I also want to try on all this stuff from Kohl's. I didn't bother going into the changing rooms, so I'm going to try this stuff on kind of while we have a conversation. So hopefully that's okay with you. So, ooh, this is pretty good. I was looking for some long sleeve shirts that I could, for the winter, that I could like tuck in and put, you know, short sleeve shirts over them. Anyway, so I had this post that I was, this blog entry. It was one of my emails. And I had the highest unsubscriber rate that I've ever had from a single blog. Ah, did I just miss that phone call? Okay. Got the phone conversation taken care of. It's crazy times. So what do you do about feedback? Because I had this post that I was like I said earlier, I was proud of it. I didn't think it was like the greatest blog post I'd ever written, certainly not, but I liked it. I was excited to send it out when I sent it out. And that just left me thinking about the nature of feedback. How do you know when to shun the non-believers and say, you know what, it's not for you? Appreciate your time, but if you don't like this, then, you know, feel free to go somewhere else, and I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. And then when do you take the feedback from someone who was already interested in your work, right? Because they were on my email list. They signed up for my email list. Somebody who was already interested says, you know what? Actually, never mind, I'm taking off. When do you decide that that kind of feedback is worth revamping your strategy and taking a look and going, like I'm not doing as good a job as I could be doing? I think this is, you know, this is a tricky thing to figure out. What do we got here? We got like a lounge shirt for like sleeping in stuff. Woo! Oh, this is nice. It's comfortable, it's warm. I feel silly right now. It's really hard to figure out when you're doing something wrong that you need to adjust. Like when do you listen to the audience and when do you ignore people in favor of your own kind of artistic integrity? You know, my instinct is almost always to continue doing what I'm doing. If this is the kind of post that I'm proud of, that I like, and you know, you whether it's a blog post or a YouTube video or a speech or a painting or an Instagram post, whatever it is that you do, right? Whatever you do that's like, you know, whether it's your passion or your full-time job or a part-time job, the work that you care about, that you're putting out into the world, that you're trying to use to make an impact in some way, anyway, whatever it is. Even, you know, you could be, you know, a checkout clerk at a grocery store, and the work that you're trying to put into the world is the little conversations that you have with the people who are checking out. That could be your version of what I'm talking about. So you have these conversations over and over, and occasionally, you know, someone doesn't respond well. When do you know if you should take that critical feedback, that negative feedback, and revamp your strategy, or just go, well, you know, they weren't for me. That's not the right person for me. My instinct is that you should almost always stick to what you do and what you like and what you care about, and then go pursue the people that want, respond to, enjoy that thing that you're doing, that you care about. Now, that's not always as easy to do in a situation like if you're a checkout clerk, right? Because you have to, you don't get to choose who comes through your line, and your boss might fire you if you're continuing to, you know, piss off certain people because of the way that you interact with them, even if many people enjoy it. But then, of course, you have to ask yourself the question, do you really want to work in a place that punishes you for expressing who you are, or do you want to go work in a place that encourages you to be who you are and says, listen, as long as it's only occasionally, if you're trying to make a connection with a human, if you're trying to make a connection with another person, and 1 in every 20 times they're not responsive, that's okay. We want you to continue doing it, because when it does work, which is most of the time, that's more meaningful to us as a company, as an organization, and the type of people who respond well to human connection are the type of people we want to be our customers. And I guess the point I'm getting at is that it's very rare now for me that I take critical or negative feedback from a customer, from a client, a consumer, and change anything about my work based on it. Woo! Loving the Mickey pajama pants. I love these though. Alright, I think, is that everything? Oh. And a new hat for the winter. Alright, well, I don't think I drew any conclusions here. I don't know if anything we just talked about was helpful at all. But let me know in the comments how you guys feel about that. Do you think that... I just realized that this would make a better thumbnail. Hang on. Do you think that it's better to listen to feedback and adjust your work based on it because the people who are finding you, you want to please them? Or do you think it's better to stick to your convictions, the things that you like, and as long as you're proud of the work, just be okay when some people don't like it and say that's okay. Go find, you know, that's all right. I'm not offended that you don't like it, but there's other people and other organizations, other companies, other artists that you would enjoy. Go find them. Is this like slowly sinking? And I'll be here doing the work that matters to me, and I'll wait for the people to find me, or I'll pursue the people that do enjoy what I do. I feel like this is like slowly... That's about as much as I can talk for today. I don't want to burn out my voice after finally having it start to recover. So thanks so much for sticking with me, and always remember that our world is a shared experience. Have a great day.